Shalom, welcome to Out of Africa Torah Session. My name is Tatrua Cohen, and this week we are on the portion Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah. And it can also be interpreted as the lives of Sarah, meaning plural lives. Well, our sages tell us that it is plural in the sense that as you live, you would experience lots of stages of your life. There is time to be born, there is time to undergo a certain stage, there is also time, especially for young couples, they begin to discover family, the dynamics of family, and many other stages that may actually they shape the life of an individual. Now, we are told in the text, if you read from Parashat chapter 23 to 25, where this portion comes from, we are told on the onset that she lived 127 years. And well, this seemed to be very interesting. You know, why would the Bible be so specific to mention the number, the actual figure of how many years she lived? Well, the key word, I think, is she lived. She did not just survive like many of us today do. You know, when life is not having meaning, when life is not meaningful, we tend to just survive. It's like by chance you rise and you do what you do, you go through your errands, your chores and so forth. Such a life is not what God intended. But what then God intended is exactly the life which is worthy living. And that's what Sarah did. She lived. So there is a huge difference between living and mere survival. And God's desire is for us to live. Now, our rabbis goes on to tell us, and of course the text also bear witness to it, to say Sarah was actually the most important piece of Abram's life. And we see this in a number of occurrences, especially in the life of Abram. This is why at the end of Sarah's life, we are told how Abram more like broken down. He actually felt the pain of losing Sarah because she was more like the engine of the life of Abram. Well, there are a number of instances the rabbis continue to give us, even the Talmud as well gives us as aids to point to how crucial Sarah's life was, especially to the husband. No wonder immediately when she passed on, he went ahead and did the things which he probably should have done before. And this is coming because of, when you lose the hope that you once had, the strength that you once had, and he was now full of uncertainty, he then instructed Eliezer to go and find a bride for his son. And little is mentioned between him and his son Isaac from the time Sarah was no more. You could see clearly the emergence of this new life kind of shaped how Abram was going to be. And the rabbis tell us that it only happened so because Sarah was the key person in making Abram very successful. Well, you could see that this Torah portion centers, or it focuses mainly on wives, or on the ladies, but specifically in this context, wives, the wives that we have, or the wives that we intend to marry. Are they compatible to us? Are they going to come and aid into the vision which God had given? So you'd find that for Abram, it became possible that he achieved everything that he managed to do simply because he had a companion and a partner who understood the vision. Not only understood, but she even pushed Abram to be able to accomplish what God wanted. Another good example the rabbis give us is that instance when Ishmael had to be sent off. Well, Abram could not do this because we are told in the text that even his heart was broken when Ishmael had to be sent off. But because Sarah understood the spiritual dynamics more than even Abram himself. Of course, Abram was the vision bearer, but he needed someone who could push him towards what God wanted. And the rabbis continue to tell us that it was so much necessary that Ishmael be sent off for the future of the coming generation. Not only that, but for the good of humanity, especially considering the heritage of Abraham. So there are a number of instances which we see that Sarah was used of God to make Abraham a success. And this is exactly my message to you, especially to the ladies of our community, to say, be used of God, so that the vision which God has given probably your husband, your family, or whoever you might be serving should come to fruition, because you are doing your part as Sarah did. Hence the text tells us that she did not just survive like Mary survived. You know, there are people you ask, you talk to them about their lives, they don't seem to have a clue on what's really happening, where are they coming from and where they are heading. But if you are living, there is a huge difference between survival and being alive. But for Sarah, the life was full of meaning. There are so many instances where we can track and bring a record to say, she did live because she did A, B, C, D, which was part and parcel of the vision which God had given to the husband. So when she was no more, well, the husband felt this pain because he also relied on her. Another last instance which I would want to give you is that moment exactly when Ishmael was sending, Abraham was now panicking and so forth. Well, the Lord told him to go back and listen to your wife. Well, the rabbis draw so many, theories and opinion on that. One of the opinion which I would like to share with you today as I close is the rabbis tell us that it was because Sarah was considered spiritually, elevated, probably than the husband. No wonder he was now instructed to go and listen to her. And that is very fascinating, And I like that Judaism actually places so much emphasis on a woman, especially the one who fears God, because she will eventually lead us to accomplish that which the Lord seeks with us. Thank you all, and Shabbat Shalom.